Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the happy hour. It is Kristi, and here tonight with me is, as ever, is my co-host with the most. I can't do the clever rhymes like he does. Kev. How are you doing, mate?
Oi.
Yes, and joining us as well is a research person on a research project here in Cologne, friend of the show, and friend to Kevin and to me, the Cognitive Society. Welcome, Cog.
You're right, fam. I don't know what that was. I was busy.
That was ghetto as fuck, is what that
was. So, people in the chat.
Cog is arguably one of the few people in the world whiter than me.
Yeah, I do burn probably easier than you, and you're ginger, so.
True. I burn in another way. I got sick burns for everyone.
Yeah, you just dole them out with your crazy bands. So, yeah, how was your New Year, Kev?
Fucking drunk.
Oh, really? Do tell.
Yeah.
The short version.
The short version was I don't remember virtually anything. And then I went to the football the next day and watched a mental game, and we lost, obviously. And then I came back and binge watched TV and binge ate Jaffa cakes. I am fucking rock and roll.
Why don't you ask Cog how his New Year's was?
Oh God.
How was your New Year's, Cog? I bet it was fucking amazing.
It's like, I don't know if you ever experienced New Year's in Germany. Have you ever experienced New Year's in Germany?
I try not to experience Germany.
Yes. Oh my God, it was terrifying. We went out and we had to go back. I was too scared out. I was absolutely terrified. So the Germans, Kristi told me before I came, she said New Year's is mental, and the Germans all get their own fireworks and they all go out into the streets and fire them off. And I was like, oh, okay. They go out into the streets, they get drunk, and they go out and they put on their own little firework displays like we do in the UK. You know, when you say let fireworks off upwards, how you're supposed to let fireworks off, right? So we went out onto the street, and there were all these people just setting off fireworks like lengthways down the street, just like just like rocket launchers. I know
that's a health and safety disaster.
I know, and like this green firework just exploded next to me and Kristi, and I was like, I am so out. I was
Germany. What happened
so
to you?
Freaked out.
Really?
They just have a totally different system of regulating their fireworks here. In fact, they don't. I'm not sure why, but the Germans haven't discovered that explosives like gunpowder is quite dangerous, and they just don't seem. It doesn't seem to have clicked yet.
Well, it seems like old Britannia might have to teach them a fucking lesson again by the sound of things. What it sounds like to me.
Going over here, bringing your health and safety, ruining our New Year's.
Mate, I really wouldn't.
No, I'm sorry. One of the key components of fun is not being fucking hospitalised.
Yes.
So
exactly,
check,
Kev. Exactly. But
check and mate.
However, in terms of invading Germany, I'm not sure that's such a good idea because they're all armed with their own small arms weapons that they bring out on New Year's Eve.
All we do is get out of rocket range and just. All I'm saying is, does Dresden need to exist again? Really?
I mean, the Germans don't seem to think so because they seem to blow it up every New Year's Eve. So, oh God.
So yeah, we came back to my place and turned on the television and watched the fireworks display that we could have been in the middle of down by the river. Instead, we watched it via a drone shot on the local television station. And then Cog was just saying, how did the police allow this to happen? This is just crazy. And then on the New Year's Eve program, there was a host, and then there was a police officer with what in his hand, Cog?
He had a champagne flute in his hand, and he was just chugging it down.
On duty?
Yeah.
Outrageous.
I know.
And I go, that's how the police feel about New Year's. Be careful, don't blow your hand off.
All right, but I mean, if you could, handle the fucking rising Nazi problem, police.
Yes. Oh God.
That would also be good.
Yeah. So that was completely mental, and I am too scared to to even consider coming back to Germany for New Year's Eve.
I was leaning out the window to look at the ones that people were letting off in the streets around us, and Cog was kind of like dipping his head out, but he wouldn't stick it out. I think he thought a rocket would just come flying down the street.
I'm not going to get my face blown off.
But anyway, I completely unrelated, but I discovered that Lady Godiva's name isn't Lady Godiva.
Oh.
That annoyed me.
I'm sure that's her stage name.
What was it?
Godifu.
Godifu.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
It doesn't, but I don't know that I'll ever be able to look at her naked breasts again.
Well, how do you know that
Those are tits of deceit.
Did you hear someone pronounce it, or did you just assume the emphasis was on the second syllable?
Well, I read it and heard someone pronounce it,
and
it's clearly not as advertised. Disgraceful.
Well, I don't.
And it almost certainly never happened. She almost certainly never rode around naked. But there we go.
not in this version of the story. No. Not when she becomes a pop star. That reminds me. There's one other article that I got to pull up. Something Cog found at the very last minute.
Oh yeah.
What did he find?
He debunked Carl.
Firework, of course. I've never seen people going around with so many small explosives, like just casually slung over their shoulder. And I was on the way back, and we were on the way back.
Because you're from a sane country.
I know.
I've been down in the middle of it. It is sometimes a bit of an adrenaline rush, I will admit.
You're really small. The chances of hitting you are minuscule.
Yeah, I know.
You're like a borrower. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you remember the conversation we had last time about how, I walk so quickly that I could be on fire, and that's the way Kristi described it? Well, arguably, I could have been on fire in that particular instance.
Talking of the conversation we had last time, but only me and Kristi, because you weren't on that show.
I see how it is.
You will never, ever guess what is trending in Britain on Twitter at the moment.
I'm trying to think of a random thing we talked about in the last show. I'm coming up blank.
Penis. Well, I'll
always a good answer. Always the right answer.
How do I screen share again? Bollocks.
You have to go on the dots, the dotty things.
There we go. Screen share, mother flipper.
High tech.
Well, I haven't done one of these in ages.
Sorry, I just resized Carl instead of you. Ooh, thanks. I don't wanna. Okay, I'll stop screen sharing.
Oh, he's not. He's not trending anymore. Let's see if he's on the second lot of trendings.
Who are we talking
fuck
about?
Off Twitter, you stupid. We are talking about
Dick Brain.
Oh, he's disappeared. Anyway.
Dick Brain.
No. Paul Chuckle.
Oh, from the Chuckle Brothers.
Oh. Yeah. He was on Mastermind, apparently.
We went down this weird corner of the internet where we ended up watching somebody, and what was the guy's name again, the rapper?
Tinchy Strider.
Oh, yes, I know Tinchy Strider.
Rapping with
he dropped
the Chuckle
off
Brothers.
very quickly.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest, most surreal rap experience I've ever had.
He's got shoes, and they come with labels.
That was one of the lines.
Wow.
We watched the video and were stunned. And then we went and actually read the lyrics. And it made less sense when you just read the lyrics than when you watched the video.
It's literally, this tweet sums it up for me. Someone said, hang on. Oh, for fuck's sake, go back up, you stupid bastard. Right. What is it? Fuck Twitter. Right. I see Paul Chuckle is trending and I thought he'd kicked it. Otherwise, no, it's dead. Don't worry, he's fine. He's on Mastermind. And then someone hyperventilating. That's,
right.
Yeah. Oh my God. Paul Chuckle, he's even got rapper to me to you, bro, in his fucking Twitter, bro. This is amazing.
He's got...
Who advertises that?
Rapper?
You know, he...
rapper is in capital letters. That's amazing.
Inaccurate. That's inaccurate.
The Chuckle Brothers, they came to my university and they did. My university's got its own nightclub venue thing, and they came and they did their own show, and 20 people turned up. But it was very funny for the short time that I was there.
So you were one of the 20 people?
Yeah, I was one of the 20 people there at the time, but people kept coming and going.
I'll be honest, when I heard about the BBC paedophile thing, I thought the Chuckle brothers must have been involved. It seemed too obvious that they wouldn't have been involved, but so far, my childhood hasn't been completely shattered, so good.
Yeah.
I'm now just looking through fucking Paul Chuckle's Twitter feed live on air.
So that's entertainment. This is what people turn in for when they come to.
This is entertaining for me. Fuck everyone else. I'm enjoying myself. This is amazing. Did you know he's starring in Panto like every year for the last 50 fucking years? I'm sure I saw him in Panto when I was a kid, and he was still old then.
There are some people who just seem to hit an age and then they stay that for like 2 or 3 decades. Patrick Stewart was like that. He's just been 60 for 30 years now.
Owen Jones, relevant to later things that are going to go on. Owen Jones
doesn't age.
Yeah, he doesn't age.
Yeah, he could be like 70. That wouldn't be surprising.
Are you still scrolling? Are you still screen sharing this Chuckle
thread? I'm still just reading through his Twitter feed. I want to get to I want to find something that's really disappointing, and so far he's not giving it me. I want him to be like, anyway, I've got this show coming up. Also, what's with the blacks and the Jews or something? You know what I mean? Like, I want to find something juicy on him, but there's nothing.
You're looking for a reason to hate Kevin.
Yeah. Because he's too nice, and like that rap was so completely ridiculous. You think to yourself, he might actually be that unaware. He might not realise how fucking awful this is. But Tinchy Strider must have done. He's a proper rapperist.
Not in that song. He wasn't. That was some. That was some shit.
He was fucking. No wonder he's gone off the edge of a cliff.
It felt like they just freestyled the first thing they did when they met and recorded it and transcribed it. That's what it feels like they did. And it was not a good freestyle.
Anyway, I'm going to stop screen sharing Paul Chuckles. I'm not going to stop looking at it. I'm just going to stop screen sharing whilst I look at it. Everyone, you can get on with the show if you like. I'm not taking part anymore.
You're going to watch the footy and read a feed and pretend to do a show.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, we're going to start with some tweets. These were handpicked by Cog. As the special guest, we made him do the work. So Cog, take it away.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting to have to introduce this. So this is Guido Fawkes printed an article about a Labour MP who, quote, continues to endorse kicking heads in. And then the Labour MP herself retweeted that on Twitter, which is what you can see on your screen. And said, of course, right-wing rag Guido refers to Lazio fans doing Nazi salutes on the streets of Britain as Italian tourists. My granddad didn't risk his life in World War II to beat fascism in the marketplace of ideas, and as a Jewish person, I'd rather drop dead than apologise to Nazis. This is the same Guido Fawkes that was literally, not literally, but was crying about anti-Semitism before the election, and then suddenly, once the election has been won for Boris Johnson, doesn't seem to care all that much about protecting Jewish people from Nazis. And of course, we don't on this show endorse kicking heads in. That's not what we're about. However, if you're crying over a Jewish person saying that they want to kick a Nazi's head in, I'm not with you on that. Like, I'm not crying any tears over that personally.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. He met Mel B on Christmas Eve. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Oh, this is Paul Chuckle.
I'm actually going to stop looking at Paul Chuckle.
I assume this is Paul Chuckle and not Guido Fawkes.
No wonder, that's why Kevin had such
Guido
a long
Fawkes,
pause.
Paul Chuckle. Guido Fawkes would recoil in horror because she's a bit black and he's not a fan.
Yeah,
of the darker skinned folk.
That's true.
Like the person we're going to look at in a bit.
Yes, there is somebody who we're going to look at in a bit who is like that. This is one you might have seen. This is.
Are you screen sharing? Because I can't.
Oh,
see shit.
Sorry. That's also why you were looking at the feed, was because you weren't distracted by the image. Fair enough.
Well, I wouldn't have seen it anyway.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at Paul Chuckle.
I was looking at Paul Chuckle.
Breaking news about Paul Chuckle, motherfucker.
So I've been watching a lot of plebs, and when you did that, I was looking at Paul Chuckle.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know if it's okay. Never mind.
No, I've seen plebs with the guy from
Grumio.
Friday Night Dinner.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's the one.
Okay.
Right. So, So this tweet,
Which, by the way, just as an aside, I finally got around to watching the Chernobyl miniseries. I don't know if you've seen that. It's amazing.
No, I haven't. How was that?
It's very good, but spoiler alert: the dad from Friday Night Dinners is like the head of the nuclear plant, and it was really off-putting at first because he's the dad from Friday Night Dinners.
You're joking?
And he's now like, yeah. No, I'm not joking. Seriously, he plays
Sorry.
that role,
I'm
and
just-
he's very good because he's a proper actor. He doesn't act like the guy from Friday Night Dinners at all.
So I'm just
strange.
picturing him going around shirtless, going bloody boiling in this nuclear plant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a little story that broke. It's
Fuck.
about Warburton's bread. If we can actually
Sorry.
function.
Sorry.
What the fuck is going on here? This is ridiculous.
No idea. No idea.
Technical problems. Continue.
Technical problems.
Did Kristi get hit in the fucking head by a firework? Is this what happened?
Well, it's the kind of thing that happens around here. So, this Paul Thompson guy, right wing, tweeted, Warburton's bread is now halal certified. Why do 96% of the population have to have Islamic halal put on onto them in their lives, and effectively overriding their own religions just because 4% want it? Bread is now halal. Your reaction, please, Kevin.
Hang on, how could it not be halal?
Exactly.
Are there not? There aren't animal product. Well, there aren't animal meats in bread.
Exactly.
Unless you decide to put them between two slices of bread in a sandwich. But the actual bread itself is surely doesn't contain meat.
Exactly.
Does it? Okay.
No.
Well, I remember because I remember someone complaining about I think it was some like Tesco's or something, and they were doing like halal turkeys or something, and people complaining, and someone wrote a letter in asking what products were going to be halal, and they literally asked, one of the listed items was pork. What, you want to know if their pork is going to be halal? I don't think so.
Brilliant.
I think you're probably safe on that one.
Yeah.
You dickhead.
No, there's no meat in bread. If you have meat in bread, there's something wrong with your bread.
That's a sandwich.
Or you're in Germany. Quite possibly.
I was going to say that I have to quibble here with Paul Thompson's maths, in that a slight majority of Britons are actually without a religion. And Christians are the next most populous group, but it's not 96% of the population overriding their own religions because of 4% want it. Most people in Britain are not religious, not officially religious.
How are the Muslims taking over if they're only 4%? That seems like a bit of a stretch.
And also, honestly, I don't know what percentage of the population is vegan, but they put vegan stickers on those things too. What percent of the population has nut allergies or gluten intolerance or whatever? I mean, we put lots of stickers on packages to make it easy for people to make decisions. Who cares?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, on the flip
brigade.
side, Warburtons do fund the Conservative Party, so if you want to give this a retweet, you're more than welcome, because effectively all it does is damage the Conservative Party, which I'm perfectly okay with. So I'm happy to let this one slide, but it is still dumb.
Bread is cancelled.
Yes.
It's too PC for conservatives.
Yeah.
Your fucking yeasty days of ruling this planet are over, bread.
Yeah, I expect to see videos of people chucking their Warburton's bread down the toilet and flushing it slice by slice.
Burning it.
Yeah, just setting loaves of bread on fire.
Yeah.
Wait, that's toast, isn't it?
Well, no, if it's on fire, you've gone too far.
Well,
I mean,
depends
I know
on how
some people
you
like
like
it very crispy, but that's a piss take if it's on fire.
All right. So, ready for the next tweet?
Well, just before we even get onto that, I don't know if I presume you did because you follow my tweets religiously, I'm sure. But my crusade against the British Museum continued today. We've got an exhibition about Nero. Now, Nero, obviously, very much a byword for tyranny, right? The very acme of fucking tyranny. And yet they've got not only have they got like tons of stolen antiquities from around the world, which means they really should be shut down for being an organised crime syndicate, but also they now got this fucking campaign basically trying to humanise Nero. Like, what are you doing, British Museum? You fucking garbage bags.
I'm trying to find your tweet because I do have you on a follow thing, but everyone's been going crazy today, so I missed it. It's not showing up. But they're trying to rehabilitate Nero.
Yeah, basically saying that was he really all that bad? Yeah, he was pretty bad, to be fair. Yeah.
Right. Historians often get caught up in the kind of trying to make things more complex.
But these people aren't historians; they're criminals. They've stolen so much shit from around the world.
I mean,
I'm
the
sorry.
terms aren't
if you work for the
mutually
British
exclusive.
Museum, you are immoral at this
Like,
point.
you can be a historian and a criminal. Look at David Starkley, you know.
Oh,
Okay, he's not a criminal, but yeah, I retract that. That wasn't a fair statement. He's just extremely conservative and a bit shit.
Well, Simon Sharma annoys me more than anyone.
Yeah.
I read his book on the fucking French Revolution, and at no point in this, like 1,000-page book, did they even mention that they got rid of slavery. Like, that's quite a big thing. Like, I know you're writing against them, but at least be honest about it. You know.
One of the first thing I ever saw Zizek do, I think I mentioned to this Kevin before, there was a documentary on the French Revolution, and they had Simon Sharma talking basically in favor of, well, I guess against the revolution, like the ideas, but the way it was carried out, the terror really he was speaking out against terror, not the revolution, saying, oh, in America they did it in a bloodless way and yada yada yada. And
Excuse me? They did it in a bloodless way.
Well, insofar as they didn't have mass executions, they had battles. You know, like they fought, but they didn't have like the guillotine kind of terror that the French instituted in order to get virtue. So
okay, but I mean, they did imprison trade unionists and execute many trade unionists later down the line and enslave millions.
I'm not arguing the point with you, Kevin. I'm telling you what I saw on television.
We call that compassionate conservatism.
I'm telling you, what I'm telling Simon Sharma,
okay.
You're garbage, mate.
Okay, but my point was Zizek argued basically for the terror. And it was a really weird argument. Like, not weird in that it was bizarre. Well, it was kind of bizarre in that I'd never heard anything like it before. And so I don't...
It was also weird because he was sniffing.
All the time. All the time. It was very weird. So they had, sort of Sharma versus Zizek. And I remember being like, I'm not convinced by Zizek, but I'm impressed by what he's saying. Like, he's sort of turned things on its head, and it was very interesting.
Did they kiss?
No, they were not in the same room.
What do you mean? How was they versus then? What do you mean?
Well, they do an interview with one historian, and they brought in Zizek as a philosopher.
So it wasn't like a debate or anything?
No, it was a documentary on the French Revolution, in particular on the terror and Robespierre.
Yeah.
I wish I could find it, because it was fascinating. If anyone in the chat knows of it, and if you have an illegal link to it somewhere, do not put that in the chat or DM me with that.
Yeah, that would be terrible if you.
Or if you did it in Minecraft, that would be okay.
Yeah, but in reality, don't send me that link.
No,
DMs,
because I've been looking for that show for years.
Although I'd like to watch it, I wouldn't want to watch it illegally because I believe in property and all that shit. So
that's the one. How do we get on this? How do we get on this?
Did you know the French Revolution was halal?
Quite possibly. Certainly sponsored by Warburtons.
Yes. Well, probably not. Probably not. Just for legal reasons. Probably not. In fact, I'm almost certain the Warburtons brand did not exist at that time. Technically, capitalism didn't fucking exist at that time. Never mind. Let's move on.
All right. Well, Cog didn't get us any funny tweets. He got us all serious.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm sure Owen Jones is going to be a riot because he's like a stand-up comic or something, isn't he? I don't know.
Yeah. So, background to this.
Oh, so the Times were being homophobic, which is pretty much where this goes.
Not Giles Corran, brother of what do you call it? The woman who does the show. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is dreadful. I can't even remember the thing now. Anyway, she does a TV show, and it's very good. She's married to David Mitchell. Victoria Corran Mitchell. There we go. Sorry.
Oh, because of the corn.
Does porn?
Corran.
Corran. Oh, okay. don't pronounce it like an American. There's an E there. Corn.
Corn. Like, never mind. We had this whole discussion. Is it corn or corn?
Are you from the
corn?
Canadas?
No. Anyway, sorry, Cox just sat here patiently waiting.
I don't know. I was going to just ask you to read it out since I've been doing
Reading
a lot.
lot?
Yeah.
All right.
You read it.
So you let me read the twat. Okay.
Yep.
My prediction for the next year, or for next year, is Owen Jones.
Also, can I just say, reading the twat sounds like an amazing way of telling someone's fortune.
You get a pap and your fortune read.
Exactly.
It's a two.
Yeah. You've got a yeast infection, but you are going to inherit some money in the next 12 months. So.
All right. My prediction for next year is Owen Jones getting a peerage in Corbyn's resignation honours. Does he get a go at that? And becoming a fat old lord getting smashed on Madeira in the morning and chasing young researchers with tight bottoms up and down the corridors all afternoon.
So that was a thing.
That's very unpleasant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the
Especially
homophobia.
as we literally had before the election a Tory MP who had to resign. It was little known because it was literally at the day the election took place, or the day the election was announced. But Kristi and I covered it on the Happy Hour. A Tory MP who was under investigation for potential attempted rape of a male, even though he was supposedly heterosexual and married, in one of the bars in the House of Commons. So I don't know why he's digging into Owen Jones, who has, as far as I'm aware, not shown any proclivity for sexual harassment, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and it is just blatant homophobia, like the deliberate sexualization of somebody because of their sexuality and their identity. It's just. Yeah.
And then you also had this. He retweeted something in terms of you wanted to pick up on the link between these two camps.
I thought this was worth bringing up. That there's Owen Jones pointed out the strong link between anti-trans activists and homophobic stuff, and how there's a. The way that Owen Jones puts it is transphobia is a gateway drug to homophobia, and I think that's kind of it's worth pointing out. That there were all these anti-trans activists coming out and going, "Oh, it's not that bad," you know. It's the quote from there is you are homophobic if you believe gay men should be treated any differently from straight men with regards to accusations of drunken lechery, like completely missing the point that Owen Jones is being targeted there as a gay man.
Yeah.
And his sexuality being pushed to the forefront where it doesn't belong.
And especially under a false pretense, because he knows that obviously Corbyn doesn't get a resignation on his list. So it's literally, he's made up a scenario in order to force a homophobic narrative against someone who's not shown any tendency towards sexual aggressiveness whatsoever.
Yep. Yeah, he's taken quite some pains to be homophobic, essentially.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So that was some shit. Yeah. But yeah.
I don't think Cog, I love you dearly, but I don't think you've got the idea of happy hour.
Yeah, sorry about that.
He's more in a cat vibe.
Yeah, what I want to chat about.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. However, I think what you've sent us is brilliant,
but I think we should start with what you found.
Yeah.
So this is what you didn't get a chance to see. We're gonna look at this. This is from January 1st of 2020. January 1st of 2020. Okay. Cog, do you want to read this since it is your find?
Yeah. So this is the Jerusalem Post, who obviously have an interest in combating anti-Semitism.
Where'd you get those hats from? I want one of those hats.
And Kevin, you're going to get us in trouble. Please be quiet.
I'm saying I like the hat.
You can order it from online.
It looks like a giant piece of licorice on his head. It's amazing.
Oh, God. 33% of those arrested for anti-Semitic crimes in New York City were black, 60% white. Now, specifically, this is police data. So, New York Police Department statistics for the first 3 quarters of 2019 document 45 arrests for anti-Jewish hate crimes in New York City. 1/3 of those arrested were African Americans, while 60% were white individuals. This represents a similar rate to that in 2018, when 69 arrests made for anti-Semitic hate crimes in New York. 40% of those arrested, or 57%, were white, and 25% of those arrested, or 36%, were black.
So basically, a third of them are criminals, and 60% are just, mentally ill loners who we need to understand and come to terms with. Clearly, that's the way that works. Sure. Oh no, I'm
Right.
preempting Carl's shtick. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the facts, and that comes from the New York Police Department, and it looks like it's not just a one-off year; it's a similar rate to 2018. Also, let's look at this. African American population is approximately 25%, with whites counting for 44%. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of
oversubscribed significantly.
Whites are definitely oversubscribed. Yeah, what was it? 36%, 25%, and the other one was I went too far back. But anyway, as you can see, it's not that different from the population in the general. Except the whites are actually.
When it says rabbis, is that the plural of rabbits?
Oh, Kevin.
See, that's on the edge of almost being naughty, but actually it's just a play on words. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Okay, so
anyway.
Again, facts in mind here. And now with those facts in mind, let's this doesn't want to pay more attention to me. Okay. All right, now I've got my sound. Got to turn the sound off. Oh, Kevin, now when you talk, you're going to come out of the speakers because we're going old school here. With give me a few seconds. If you start to interrupt, then stop interrupting so I can pause. Because all right. Actually, I'm going to make. I don't know. You want to run the?
Kristi, bless you. I don't know why.
See. What did I say? No
I don't
talking.
know why you think I'm going to play ball with you and your rules here.
Do you want to be in charge of pausing?
Why would I make this easy for you and enjoyable for the listener?
Cool.
When I could do neither of those things, and it's much easier.
All right, so hopefully you blow everyone out of the water there, because I'm not looking at the chat anymore. But I'll try to do it. Okay.
Right, and now somebody who we don't want to listen to, really.
In the past year or so, it has been well reported that in New York there has been a rise in anti-Semitic attacks, and apparently no one seems to care, or no one knows what to do, despite the fact that people know that this is happening. They generally take the form of opportunistic attacks.
Yeah, Cog's new. He's new on the. You got to give him a chance to. He was actually trying to do something else while we were playing the video, not realizing you were going to jump in all the time. So
sorry, I was arsing about on my phone. It's the usual thing. He's
still got his hi, my name is I'm a trainee badge on. So you were going to say, Kevin.
Anyway, it's interesting that now Carl has seen how successful the smears of anti-Semitism against Jeremy Corbyn were, that he's now pretending to give a fuck about anti-Semitism when he's said things in the past like to the what's his name, Andrew Anglin, I'm not going to judge you for being a Nazi. Yeah. He also said, sorry, I don't give a fuck about the Holocaust, things like that.
Richard
so
Spencer is a progressive.
Said either of those things, he'd have jumped on and said, oh look, he's clearly a Nazi.
Hitler wasn't a sadist.
Yeah,
Hitler wasn't a sadist. Another gem there, nicely remembered, Krista. So the idea that you give a fuck about anti-Semitism, go fuck yourself, Carl, you piece of shit. Where was your video when white people were going into synagogues, shooting them up in the last few months? Where was your video saying, why are whites attacking Jews?
Well, Kevin, he was too busy making a video saying the guy who did the shooting, his manifesto, he made some good points. And that he was going to make a video about the manifesto, which he never made.
No.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, let's listen to the greatest friend of the Jew, Carl.
Oh, hold on. How long was that manifesto though?
Pages and pages.
Oh, it was too long. It's too long.
Exactly. You can't surmise it in like maybe a heading and then a subtitle.
He just went to the Reddit thread where they were like, just scanning down the Reddit thread.
Just sum it up.
Oh, sorry, 4chan, 8chan.
Muslims bad, Jews bad. I can read that. That's nice and easy, concise. You know what I mean?
To the point. It's to the point. Don't mince words.
Exactly.
Right, let's carry on.
Where there's a group of people, men, who just happen to see someone who is obviously Jewish.
Whoa. Why the misandry? Where's the misandry coming from? Men.
Yeah.
Why is that relevant? Why are you playing identity politics with it, Carl?
Interestingly, 5 days ago, there was actually a woman who was tried as well for anti-Semitism in New York. But anyway, that's beside the point. Right. let's press on.
Skull cap.
So even the joke I made there, he was still wrong. Okay, brilliant. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to my life, Cog.
What, the constant pausing? Yeah. No, it's good. It's real good. Right, let's press on.
Looks acidic, etc., walking by, and then they take the opportunity to attack them or mug them or both. According to the New York Post, the attackers come from all walks of New York City life. They are black, white, Hispanic, Muslim men and women. Well, is that a fact?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just bluntly.
Actually, they're mostly white people.
Oh, yeah, true.
Can you close the can you close the window?
Closed. Oh,
Yeah, it's spinning and it's bugging me.
Wow, you paused everybody's watching just because that little... Okay, right. Let's press on.
Kristi's not mental honest. She's not. It's fine.
Let's press on.
That's very interesting. It's because every example I look at, this appears to be a black man chasing the Jew. There's a man who slapped and called a dirty Jew in Brooklyn back in October. He was called a dirty Jew after being slapped in the face by a black man riding a bicycle. Very interesting.
Why are you playing identity politics, Carl? And not just that, but playing it really badly, because, I mean, we literally showed you earlier, not you specifically, Carl, but our audience, that actually it's majority white and overrepresented as white as well.
Yeah, from 44% of the population to 60% in the arrest rates. That's overrepresentation. Much higher than being 25% and being 31%.
So you're doing identity politics, which is enormously hypocritical, and you're doing it wrong.
This is just cognitive bias.
No, it's cognitive society.
Yeah. I was about to chime in with a joke about that, but go on. Yeah, but it's actually worse than that. It's logical fallacy. If you want the pretentious Latin name for it, it would be a major ad meus. A minor ad meus. As in from the small to the large. I see 2 brown cows, therefore all cows are brown.
Right. So I see 5 articles where black men are arrested for attacks on Jewish people.
Yes.
Therefore, everybody who makes these attacks are black men.
Yeah, is a black man.
That's Sargon thinking.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas if you actually do the research, the numbers are out there, actually printed by the people who do the arrests.
And maybe there's a bias in
especially
who gets reported.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's a bias in the newspaper industry reporting these kinds of things. They don't report whites getting arrested with the same level. You know, that could also be a source of, yeah.
But do you know what's especially galling from Carl's perspective is that if he actually dug into the shooting in Muncie, New York, you'll have found out that the black guy who did that, or the stabbing, I should say, was actually a massive fan of Hitler, which means that Carl wouldn't be able to judge him.
Yeah,
Interesting.
actually maybe agree with him on quite a lot of things, like Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh, yeah. Carl would probably call him a progressive, like he did to Richard Spencer. You know, like.
Yeah.
Well, the Democrats are communists, so you know.
Yeah.
That's a definite fact from the politics understander.
So he's gotten impeachment wrong. He's gotten basic economics wrong, and now he's gotten basic maths wrong.
I'm not sure he can tie his shoelaces.
Like, is this so? You've seen this whole video, Kevin. Is this just him cherry picking articles and then making generalizations?
I don't want to preempt the man. I think we should listen to his well-crafted arguments.
Well researched, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's quite brilliant.
Does the word data or crime statistics ever pass?
I'm not sure data is a thing he's aware of, really. I don't know if that's a thing in his wheelhouse. Knowledge, you know? Got
it. All right, let's see how long we go before Kevin interrupts us.
It's just some, again, caught on CCTV camera, Jewish man's walking up the street, and then 4 what appear to be black youths set upon him and beat him up.
Black
Are
youths.
you fucking 60, you dopey cunt? What are you talking about? These youths, these hoodlums.
Youths.
Scallywags.
Carl, do you have a chair to help you get up the stairs? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, what?
Like, old people have the chairlifts to get them upstairs. I'm saying he sounds old. Is the point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you said, Cog, do you have a chairlift to get you up the stairs? I was like, wait,
no.
what?
I mean, you can answer if you want, but I wasn't asking.
No, like you said Carl, didn't you?
I did say
Yes.
Carl.
Sorry, I misheard you. Okay.
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 Sargon, do you have a thing to help lower you into the bath? Do you have one of those walk-in baths?
He's been
I
an
want one
old
of those,
man
though.
since
I'm
his
a lazy
teens, though. To be fair.
I was going to say V.
To be honest,
there,
I
but
want to live in a moo-moo.
What?
do you have a thing to lower you into the bath of V?
V.
Sorry.
I'm not sure that's how it works. I think V just licks him like a cat.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I really
Cleans
shouldn't have
him.
said that.
Oh, you
I'm
got
sure
caught
V
up
is a
in
really
that
nice
habit.
person I've never met.
No, not really.
But go on.
But no. Well, he's got some very nice,
He's
nice
a basic. He's a basic bitch internet troll, is what he is. He really is basement level.
Which is where the tubs are. Oh wait, no, that's not.
It's also where he leaves the bodies.
Yeah.
All right.
But I
So
wouldn't worry too much because you can pay Milo Yiannopoulos to do that sort of thing nowadays anyway. So. Great.
Ooh, Milo burn. Nice one.
Shall we press on?
Yeah, let's hit play.
Cool.
In this particular one. The brutal assault was the latest in string of attacks on religious Jews in NYC. This brick or paving stone was used to smash this guy's teeth out and break his nose while he was saying Jew. It was like something like that. It's quite awful. But this is the suspect. I don't know whether you can see well on the recording, but he appears to be black. Then you have the 4 men arrested in connection to
cognitive bias.
Yeah, Carl, if you only look for articles involving black people attacking Jewish people, you can make it look like they're all black.
Yeah.
Whereas we've literally just showed you the statistics.
Yes.
And it's not.
From
that's
all
not
of
an accurate
the-
description. It's almost like you're intellectually bankrupt, bereft, maybe.
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah. I think his glasses as well. He's trying to look more.
No, he's old. He can't fucking see, Carl. The cog, even.
I mean,
It's the cataracts. He hasn't had the cataracts removed yet. He needs the glasses.
oh,
Just off
God.
camera, you can't see, but he's on an IV drip and he's got a fucking colostomy bag. He's old.
Also, is that like an? I can't see exactly, but is that like a Roman eagle behind him next to the
Oh.
British flag?
I'm not sure. It looks like a kind of bee with angel wings or something.
It's probably a pigeon. Right. Let's.
It would-
Probably a pigeon, yeah.
That would be
Fee caught it in the park when he was taking him for a walk.
Right.
okay. Right.
He
August.
just brings him sticks and stuff, but you know,
All
this
right.
time he brought him a live animal. I mean, it had tyre tracks on it, but you give him the wind, don't you?
We're gonna try to get through this. Here we go.
Footage. They appear to be black. What is going on here? Why is it when
You're a
you
lying
read somewhere like
bastard,
the
is what's going on here. You're a lying piece of shit, Carl. You're obviously dishonestly representing the state of affairs. Not that any of if those black people did those things to those Jewish people, they're evil garbage and deserve to go to prison for a very long time. That's not the point, though, is it? The statistics show that white people are disproportionately more likely to attack Jewish people in New York.
Yep. You can't pick fun.
Which you either knew and lied about or didn't bother looking, in which case you should shut the fuck up.
Good advice in both directions. Either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're set.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Daily Beast that is reporting on what happened today, where a man broke into the home of a Hasidic rabbi who's having some sort of Hanukkah festival.
Hang on, yeah, but
Pulls out a
it's
machete.
what?
Also,
I'm doing that joke again. That's 2 times.
Also, have you guys noticed how when Carl...
Ironically, my rabbi rabbit jokes are breeding like rabbits, to be fair.
Also, have you guys noticed how when Carl reads these articles, he kind of goes, yeah, so this guy broke into the house of this rabbi or something like that. He doesn't actually just
No, anything.
read
No.
what's in front of him.
Yeah, if you actually wrote a script, Carl, you could say, On December the 29th, a guy walked into a rabbit's house, a rabbit hutch in Monzy, New York, and stabbed 5 people. And he's subsequently been arrested, awaiting trial, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. You've explained the story concisely, people know what the facts are, and you can then give an opinion on the thing. But just rambling saying, well, a guy walked into a shop and the 5 people or something, I don't know. That's not telling us anything, you twat.
It's like he hasn't read the article before he pulled it up. Like he just pulled it up and just read the headline and started to riff, you know.
I think he might be a lazy cockhead.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think he might be.
Don't know what gave you that impression.
Okay, here we go.
He stabs 5 people. We don't get any information about the assailant themselves. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Because then you get Jewish activists.
No, Carl, it's called a police investigation. They were investigating him, and then once you find out who it is, and they seem to know all about him now, then the information comes out. That's literally how it always works, which is why you and your ilk shouldn't do reaction videos straight away, because that's when you're most likely to have misinformation.
And you end up doing this kind of backwards thing that you have to do with when you get caught in a legal loophole. I think Sean's pointed out people doing this before in his I've forgotten what video it was exactly, but it was a video where there was a shooting and a terrorist attack, a shooting, and basically the right-wing Twitter and various forums full of right-wing people came out and said, oh, it must be a Muslim before any of the facts had come out. So had Rebel Media, that was it. But then Rebel Media had to sort of backtrack and go, after it turned out that it was a white guy, they had to backtrack and they sort of just had to go, well, this is weird, this doesn't add up. And Carl is, in a way, doing the same thing here, just kind of, well, this doesn't quite add up, you know, the kind of reacting too quickly.
I have to say, it was very funny when the rumour spread that Mundane Matt did the Google shooting. That was fun. I did enjoy that one.
I don't remember that moment of time.
Yeah, do you not remember that? Yeah.
No.
Do you remember some crazy fucker went into the Google thing in like summer last year? Like shot a couple of people. I don't think anyone died, but anyway. And the rumour went around that it was Mundane Matt. It wasn't. It was totally made up by people who don't like Mundane Matt. But it was still funny. Because fuck him.
All right. And on that bombshell, back to Carl's idiocy. From one idiot to another.
Twitter, who say things like, GTFO out of here with your goy-splaining. The alt-right and Trump have been fanning the flames of white nationalism.
Sorry, I just want to point out that Carl said GTFO out of here, which is get the fuck out of here, out of here. Even though it's written properly on the tweet. But
I bet he's one of these pricks who says pin number.
Sorry, say that again, Kev? I missed that.
So I bet he's one of these people who says pin number. Ugh. People make me sick.
Put in your pin.
Yeah.
Pin
Yeah.
number.
The N is number, so you're saying personal identification number. Dickheads. Anyway.
There's a lot of repressed rage there.
There is, but that's mostly sexual misfunction. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Conflating Jewish with Israeli. No group is monolithic. The situation in New York, and let's be clear, we don't know.
Not going to address Trump's flaming of anti-Semitism at all.
No.
Literally, I mean, Giuliani literally just said he was more Jewish than George Soros, which is literally not true.
Wait, who said Giuliani said who was more Jewish than Soros?
Said that himself.
He was.
Giuliani said of himself he was more Jewish than George Soros.
Yep.
Did you miss that?
Whew. Yeah. I don't know how that flew over my head, but that guy is done. Was put a fork in him last year because he was done in 2019.
Well, yeah, but that's, I mean, in Carl's world, that's fine. That kind of anti-Semitism is super duper because it was done by a white dude.
I'm seeing a pattern here. All right.
Mon's the attack yet is massively complicated and a growing division between two communities.
Sorry, Cog. But didn't Carl just say we don't know anything about the perpetrator? And he's literally just got a fucking photograph of the guy being arrested. So literally, this was made a couple of days after or something, and you think, well, yeah, you now know the information. So why did you make it look like they were hiding it from you, Carl, when actually they were just doing an investigation?
Well, an investigation is conspiracy to him.
Well, clearly so, because clearly the Jews running everything. Oh no, sorry, we're not doing anti-Semitism. Shit. Oh, how'd you get around that one, Carl? You can't say it was Soros.
All right, here we go.
Praise be upon him.
Is a way to find solidarity with each other against our shared enemy of white supremacy. To be clear, I hold the Trump White House directly responsible for the increasing...
Hang on, is he going to address any of these points? He's just reading people's tweets.
No, he's just, I don't know, you watch this, we haven't, but so far he's looked at no data.
I can't remember.
Whatsoever.
I can't remember. I was fucking half cut. Anyway, this was from like 4 or 5 days ago or something. Anyway, what was I going to say? Shit. Yeah, I know. I was just reading Barry Chuckle or Paul Chuckle tweets, but I was reading them to myself, so that doesn't count. That's different. That's even weirder.
I don't know.
Anyway, breaking Paul Chuckle news: he's throwing his hat into the ring for the 2020 Dems nomination. Okay.
Very funny.
Apparently, he's Bloomberg's agreed to pull out, and he's going to take his place. So there you go. Fact, breaking news, fact for you there.
Getting back to your point, you're right, he's just reading out a series of things, not looking at any evidence. He's like, hey, here's 4 articles I've biasly selected. And then here's some other tweets that I can't read because I can't go on Twitter. Anyway, so...
so presumably these are screenshots someone sent him.
They must have had to be. Or, it was an account until it got booted. He had it for a hot minute.
I imagine he's got like a fucking conveyor belt of burner accounts. They just go down all the time, so he just picks up another one, and away you go.
So I have to say, I am thoroughly unimpressed with the evidence he's presented so far, which seems to be 3 newspaper articles, a lot of bloviating, and then some Twitter comments.
But he showed you 4 pictures of black people doing a thing.
Yes, 4 pictures.
Which, by the way, Carl, I thought everyone was innocent until proven guilty. When did that start? Oh, because they were black. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it only works for Trump, Kevin.
Yeah, but he's innocent even when he's proven guilty.
That's true, because he's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shade of orange.
Well, is he? Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's a peach.
Well, you can see from his amazing tan work that he's part orange, part very pasty white.
Yes. That line that we saw in his makeup.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's embarrassing. Does he put the makeup on with a fucking trowel?
That was a very funny image in my head. Okay.
All right, Carl.
Jewish people in America. It should be clear now that exceptionalizing Jews, whether in a negative or positive light, endangers us and keeps us forever at risk. Well, that is interesting. And you've got Cuomo coming out and saying, well, this was...
God, he's a twat. That's interesting. Tell us why it's interesting. Tell us why you think that's interesting, Carl. Give us some analysis of the thing you just read.
Yeah, as opposed to just moving on to something else that you can read aloud.
Yeah, because to be honest, I mean, I'm not suggesting he should be done under fair use, but that's not fair use.
No.
You're literally just using someone else's material without adding critique or analysis or
adding a clickbaity
satire
title
or anything. You're adding no extra content to that.
Clickbaity title.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Which I'm guessing would get a lot of support from his rabid fan base, because they're definitely not anti-black racists. Honest.
So every time you guys hear me click, because whenever Kevin starts to talk in the middle, I have to turn the speakers down really quick.
You have to turn the speakers up.
And so I sometimes overdo it to get him quiet as quick as possible, and I turn them off, and then I have to turn them back on. So that's all the clicking this time. It's not the Cog's pen, like in the Keck show.
Still getting brutality for that. Right.
All right, here we go with Carl.
This was domestic terror. It's like, okay, that's fine, but as you've probably seen by the...
Sorry,
yeah, that's really weird. Look, I know what he means, but Carl, you can't follow the sentence, it's domestic terrorism with, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That you can't. That's ridiculous, mate. Come on.
And let me just move over domestic terrorism to make a more important point than people dying needlessly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and not just that, but this dude. I mean, it sounds really weird, but he clearly was a white supremacist. He was a Hitler stan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was clearly very, very mentally unwell. I don't think there's any fucking denying that. But he was also a massive fan of Hitler. So even though he's a black dude, it would appear in his mental state he was a white supremacist.
Yeah. And I think that it's quite dangerous, the idea that you can't be harming the rights of a group and be in that group yourself. I think we should be very careful of people who say, I can't be a racist, I'm X minority. I think that's...
Well, Carl is the vulnerable minority, we know this.
Yes, he told the BBC radio, after all.
I cannot believe he did that interview, that was amazing. God damn. What an idiot. And I just said, but the greatest burn of all time, he's having a Tory midlife crisis. So true. It's so true. God damn.
30, whatever he is.
I mean, what minority is he part? Sorry, I can't remember this. What minority did he?
His 5% black granddad was 2% black. So please.
Oh, I thought you were like going to be like,
white classic liberals.
He was making a point about, I think it's like conservatives are being downtrodden or something, and literally described himself as the vulnerable minority.
I am the vulnerable minority. I can hear him in my head saying it.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I remember that quote. Yeah,
that was a particularly fine. That was a particularly fine vintage of fartoffery.
Fartoffery.
That was a good year for the fartoffery.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give me the Chateau vulnerable minority, please.
I thought he was going to say he was part of some society where he gets together with his friends on YouTube, does a live stream, and bashes rocks together. I thought he was that kind of minority.
He sort of does. I mean, when they went to that park and started shouting "Keck"
and "Ree"
and like scaring the kids with their weirdness, that was. They sort of are that. I mean, they don't literally bash rocks together because that would take like energy, but they do meet up and stuff. And then V kind of rubs himself on Carl's legs and tries to get chicken from the fridge.
All right, are we ready to go back to Carl's racism? Let's just be honest with what his racist video. Okay.
The pictures here. This is not a white supremacist, is it? This is the suspect in the latest.
Incorrect, Carl. You're incorrect.
Yep.
Yeah, just straight up is. So.
I mean, if his beliefs are that whites are supreme, then he is a white supremacist. He's not a white person who holds supremacist views.
Yeah, I think he's falling into the war corps trap of saying, I'm white and a nationalist, therefore I'm a white nationalist. Yes. Again, Carl, the words, when you combine them into a single phrase, mean something different than they are separate.
Very.
You see?
And even War Corps figured that out.
Well, not quite.
He did not. I thought but he made a video saying, "Actually, I'm not a white nationalist."
Yeah, because everyone pointed out you're an idiot. That's not what it means, you fucking twat. And he went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but he made at least he was corrigible. He apologized to Hawaii. You have to.
He did.
War Corps, in some ways, more credit.
That's just because he's planning it running 2024 and he wants to get the Hawaii vote. Clearly.
He's going to buddy up with Tulsi Gabbard, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, between them, they make almost one human being intellect-wise. They've almost got a backbone between them.
But, at least he's corrigible in a way that Carl hasn't demonstrated himself to be yet.
And they are both present.
In the universe or in our chat?
Just in general. No, Tulsi Gabbard is not in our fucking chat.
Present.
I imagine.
Oh, and it's a present voting joke.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks for explaining that one to me.
Go to bed.
All right, back to Carface.
In Monzi. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, you can't just turn around and point the finger here at white supremacy because it doesn't seem that this is being done in the name of white supremacy by any of these...
Okay, I don't know what this is all about. But if the guy was someone who was a Hitler stan, then yeah, it was being done in the name of white supremacy. Is he just basically he's basically saying black people can't be white supremacists? Is that because they have black skin? Is that his logic here? Like what people think doesn't matter. We have to judge them on their skin tone. That's what he's saying. Yeah,
which is sort of like identity politics taken to the nth ridiculous degree.
Yeah.
He's basically doing the straw man of identity politics he accuses others of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's actually trying to use it as a legitimate argument.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
It's not just a made-up thing. I think
we've made that point before, but it bears repeating. He's a fucking idiot.
Every 5 minutes. In case he watches. Okay.
Suspects. These all appear to be black people, and so the question is, why is it...
Yeah, the cherry-picked images of people that you found when you typed in black people attacking Jews or whatever. Yeah, those people are probably going to be black, Carl. Yes.
I think
that's not really representative of the whole, though, is it?
No. The search term was images, black people, white supremacist, because that's what all the pictures have said so far.
Yeah, which I mean, I would not be surprised if this is the 4chan meme stuff.
Oh yeah, he probably just got it. He wouldn't even bother Googling, would he?
No, he's probably got these in a file.
Or someone sent it to him in a file.
V has sent it to him in a file. V's like a kind of a mix between a pet goat and a librarian for Carl, I think.
But
and
the goat would eat the books.
And a lover. But that's the goat thing again. Never mind.
A goat librarian lover.
A goat librarian lover.
Orion in the chat says War Corp 666 Gabbard 2020. No, more like 2029. How about that? Because that's not a presidential year.
That's unless something weird happens, that's not going to be a presidential year.
That's the joke.
Oh, okay.
All right, back to Carl's racism.
New York, and Brooklyn in particular, it appears, seem to have a problem with Jews. Well,
nope.
I wonder if the great...
Now he gets out Louis Farrakhan. Where's the police? Where's your crime data, Carl? Where's the actual 100% of the reported things and reported arrests, as opposed to this BS?
There are loads of black people who really don't like Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Because for a start, he gives garbage like you an excuse to rag on black people because he says dumb shit all the time.
Yeah.
So black people are like, actually, I don't think he's a good spokesman for us.
I don't think Carl's a good spokesman for white people.
Yeah, he's our Sargon of Akkad. He's their Sargon of Akkad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, Carl Farrakhan, what you got to say for yourself, lad?
Greatest of all time as described by various people, or often black celebrities, who often rails against satanic Jews after being banned from Facebook back in
Good job
May.
Reading the headline, Carl. That he literally all he did there was read the headline.
Then moved on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all you need. Headline. I've got all the information I need. Move on.
And now here's another one from about a 2018 tweet that has nothing to do with crime statistics in New York.
No. And as I say, this person is not taken that seriously amongst the vast majority of African Americans. He's a dwindling figure in African American society, and is seen as at best an anachronism and at worst an active negative for black people.
Yeah.
So no one's going, oh, Louis Farrakhan's calling the Jews satanic. Let's go burn us down a synagogue. Like, no one's doing that, Carl.
The only people who are going to be convinced by this video are people who are racists or want to be racists.
Exactly, yeah. Anyone who's already anti-Semitic in the African American community might listen to him, but I mean, most won't. So it's not like he isn't really an issue here. The 60% of the people attacking Jews that are white, they are a problem.
Yeah, I want you to deal with the problem of the white culture.
Have failed to even mention, Carl, which is surprising to me because you're usually so balanced.
I think what we need to do is you need to send him one of your love messages on Facebook, pointing out that if he's going to point out like about 33% of the crimes committed in New York City against Jews were against black people, and when is he going to do a video about white culture owning all the problems that white people or white men carry out?
Well, I know how to get him to definitely read that message.
Put hearts
I'll
on
send
it.
him. I'll send him
dick
a dick pic after I've had it tattooed on my cock.
Then he'll look at it for hours and hours.
He will look at it many times a day with great intensity.
Maybe you could do the dick pic and then just Photoshop the message, Kevin. I don't think you have to go all the way.
I go method with it.
But
okay.
But I mean, just that was a long message, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, and all I'll say is, fucking font can be very small, so it's fine.
Well, you're gonna send him a magnifying glass as well.
Oh, cheeky bitch!
I meant for the font.
Oh. Look, you can write a lot on a foreskin. It's fine.
Well, this took a turn. Right.
All right. Should we get back to Carl's racism? Naked racism.
Yes.
Okay.
Or his 2018 tweet being deleted by Twitter because it was too far, literally comparing Jews to termites, saying, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-Semite, I'm anti-termite. It seems that Louis Farrakhan, who appears to be a fairly influential voice in the black community.
I wasn't going to pull him up on that, but you'd think if he'd know anything about him...
If you're going to hate the guy, know his name.
Yeah, Louis,
He's not a French king.
Yeah.
I know it's spelled the same, Carl, but they're different languages.
I get that all the time with the St. Louis Cardinals and stuff, and you just think, it's wrong. You're wrong, America.
Right. Well, when it's St. Louis, yeah, you're probably right on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and Arkansas and Kansas.
Yes, we've had this
still on you,
I know you're bitter. I know you're bitter.
No, I'm Kevin on that one.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, choose one pronunciation.
Yeah.
Until the Germans put their explosives away.
Yes.
Does appear to have singled out the Jews, and now it appears that there are lots of black people attacking Jews.
What?
To be fair,
lots of black people
Louis
attacking
Farrakhan,
Jews, you complete racist fuck.
He hasn't singled out just the Jews. He also doesn't like white people or Christians.
Also,
it's almost like he's just a hateful arsehole.
Just this obscure black Christian guy. Does he even live in New York?
No, he's not a Christian. He's a Muslim, isn't he?
Louis Farrakhan, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nation of Islam?
I knew he was. Right. I knew he was. I knew he was from.
No, you're getting him mixed up with Obama's guy. What's it? The goddamn America. What was his name?
I have no idea.
Pastor. Oh, fucking
Dave.
Fuck, Kristi.
Dave.
Pardon?
Pastor Dave.
No, that's Dave Dobbin, right? No, that's. Do you remember Barack Obama's? It was like a big thing in the election. Do you remember?
Oh, the pastor. I can't remember the name of that guy.
Anyway, him. I think you're getting him mixed up with him. Carl.
Maybe.
Cock.
Yeah, maybe.
Can we just one more time put this up here just to cleanse the palate of the viewers here? We need to do a fact check halfway through because Carl's just been spewing racist crap on this issue about attacks in New York. 60% are committed by white people, according to the New York City police data itself, and that is consistent year on year for the last 2 years.
Yep, and this is from 2020. This is like brand new data.
January 1st, right? But the 2018 data was out there because they cited it, right? So he could have done a Google search. So just again, I feel like we should keep this up as a banner under Carl.
Jeremiah Wright.
Oh, yes, that was it.
Pastor Jeremiah Wright. There we go.
Maybe.
Because ironically, I was doing a Google search when you were saying Carl should have done a Google search.
Well, look at that. Okay, so we're just going to keep this up here now.
Yeah, keep that as a window.
Yep. As a rebuttal.
Don't accidentally subscribe to him.
No, I don't want to subscribe. Absolutely not. Certainly not join. All right. So again, we're just gonna put that up there. Okay. I have to run the sound. I'm giving the video back to Cog.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I have to do things.
Yes,
Right.
I make him work when he comes in as a guest on my show.
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't know that these are directly connected, but if I had to start looking in one area, that would be a start. But I don't know. It might have absolutely nothing to do with Louis Farrakhan, because apparently a significant number of these attacks.
So why did you mention it then? Why did you mention Louis Farrakhan if you didn't know, or if you had no idea whether he had any connection to it? Like, do some fucking research, you lazy prick.
Yeah, he hasn't Googled anything with statistics on it yet. Just memes.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to throw a Louis Farrakhan quote. He might be connected, who knows? Here's this quote from Genghis Khan. Might be connected, who knows?
Here's a guy with an opinion. I'm going to talk about that in my show.
Yeah. I was talking to my mate Dave down the pub, and he reckons the Jews control the moon. It might be connected. Don't know.
Yeah, let's also point out that the connection between these people, according to just the reason that Carl has connected these people, is that they are black. It's not even their location, or he's just pulled a group of. I found a group of black people who commit crimes. Let's make a video about it. It's just unbelievable.
Unbelievably bad.
But the overriding thing I can't get out of my head is when white people are shooting up synagogues, this motherfucker does not come out and say, why are whites killing the Jews?
Exactly. What's wrong with white culture that it's producing these kind of mass murderers? Where's that conversation, Mr. British, English liberals?
Well, no, but it's not. But you're blaming the wrong people, because it's clearly, say it with me, everyone, the fucking feminist system.
Oh, it's always the feminist system. Yes. Forgot about that.
I know technically he wasn't white, but he was white passing, and that's the basic gist that Carl does. When a white person does a thing, it's always someone else's fault. It's never, maybe white people need to get their shit together. It's always like, no, he was a mentally ill loner. We should be nicer to these people.
Yeah.
Suck a dick, save a life, ladies. Like, you know what I mean? Ridiculous.
All right. We set?
It's be white people mostly. It's not the alt-right, as the Jewish Twitter activists would have us believe. It is not Donald Trump.
No, it is. It is those things, Carl.
Actually, sorry, I realized Kid is.
It's members of the alt-right literally shooting, not doing. I mean, I'm not suggesting for a second that it's okay to slap a Jewish person and call them, was it a dirty Jew or whatever? But by comparison, would you prefer that or having your synagogue shut up? Because that's what the alt-right are doing, Carl. And they make up 60. Well, I can't say that all of the 60 people, or 60% of people, are alt-right, but I'm guessing a fair percentage of them are, Carl. Probably higher than the 33% that are black.
I think it's just better if you've got ideological crimes. Those are one category. You might have random attacks. You might have robbery intentions. And to try to conflate them, to divide them up based on skin color, which is what Carl's doing. It's by selectively pulling these instances to create a narrative that, again, is not supported by the data. It's him trying to construct data for his racism. That's what the video is.
Yeah, there are three potential conclusions that you could draw. If Carl was correct, there are three potential conclusions you could draw. Either that black people are just genetically more likely to attack Jews. I think we can rule that one out. Or that there is a conspiracy among black people to attack Jews. I think we can rule that one out as well. Or that they are societally more likely to attack Jews, which again I think we can rule out. Like, there's no conclusion that you can reach here that's of any use or is backed up by any data. You know?
Whereas actually I think we can look to certain groups of white people and say there is a sort of conspiracy going on there.
Yeah.
That these alt-right types are incubating.
Yeah.
And producing these fucking monsters.
Yeah. I think that's
but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the cherry-picked examples that I've seen on the interwebs.
Now, let's just say, anti-Semitism, no matter who the perpetrator is deplorable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be on the record for that as well. So it's not like we're saying, when it's, one group does it, it's okay. Like, no, it's never okay. But what Carl is doing by cherry-picking these examples and trying to stick it in and throw in Louis Farrakhan in order to make people feel hostile, to draw a false conclusion. Yeah, then he's
such a basic bitch, fucking Fox News dickhead now. Literally, I'll throw up Louis Farrakhan. Why not? Yeah. Can I crowbar the phrase political correctness in here?
Somewhere.
How about war on Christmas, perhaps?
Yeah. I just want to state, just on behalf of all of us, that like everybody who Carl's mentioned in this video can just can just get lost. Like, we don't want anything to do with them. We are not defending them. at any point, in case that wasn't clear. Sorry,
Apart
what
from the
Kristi said
rabbits,
is...
the rabbits are cool.
Yeah, apart from the rabbits can stay.
Violence. Yeah.
Yes, and any violence, but also the stuff about comparing Jewish people to termites. Like,
that's also deplorable.
That's such, like, that's the kind of thing that I start yelling at people for. That's, you know, that's the kind of thing that gets me angry personally. But the connection there shouldn't be, oh, that's a black person. That should be, oh, that's an anti-Semite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that should be your first thought, not, oh, that's a black person.
With an anti-Semitic view, therefore I can generalize. No, you can't.
Yeah, Carl, you actually care about anti-Semitism, whereas Carl doesn't. He cares about attacking black people.
Yeah, it's like just pick any excuse to pick on a minority with less power, and Sargon of Akkad I can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, shall we press on?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, in fact, is very much against anti-Semitism. He has Jews in his family. Ivanka Trump converted to Judaism.
What does this have to do? Sorry, what does this have to do with the crime?
Well, it shows, right? He clearly can't be anti-Semitic because he wants to stick his dick into a Jew. So, I mean, the fact that Jew is also his daughter is, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that he wants to fuck a Jew. So...
Thanks, Kevin. Always appreciate the way that you are able to turn a phrase with such grace.
It's okay. It's okay. You're welcome.
But it's not untrue that that man said skeezy ass things about his own child, which is gross beyond grossness.
But shows he isn't a racist, definitely.
Again, this is free association. I'm going to talk. I'm going to cherry pick pictures. I'm going to throw up Louis Farrakhan, and then I'm going to talk about how Trump's not an anti-Semite.
Yeah, it's like argumentation jazz. It's just free form. The thing is, Kristi, you don't listen to the points he makes. You listen to the points he doesn't make.
Oh, there's so many, and no facts either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, back. Hitting play.
He does not have any issue with Jews, as literally the one bigotry they can't really pin on him, to be honest.
No, they can, because he is an anti-Semite, Carl.
Yeah.
I literally made a video. One of the first things he did as president was on Holocaust Memorial Day, he engaged in what's called de-Judification, which is when you specifically talk about the Holocaust in a way that omits the fact that the Jews were the primary target of it, which he literally did. He put out a statement for Holocaust Memorial Day which didn't mention Jewish people at all.
Yeah.
And we know that he's got people like Stephen Miller, who is a white nationalist, anti-Semite piece of shit, who has been one of the few people that's been there from the very beginning.
And Steve Bannon is also...
Yeah, and Steve Bannon, yeah.
I mean, the fact is that you can't be friends with white nationalists who are anti-Semites themselves and then say Trump isn't an anti-Semite.
Trump's personal lawyer literally just said that he is more Jewish than a fucking Jewish Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, that link is in the chat, by the way. Thanks, Orion, who put it in there. You gave me the facts for that. So people in the chat can go back and find Rudy Giuliani saying that kind of BS. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. I have read an awful lot of articles done in either specific
headlines of articles.
You read a lot of headlines, Carl. Yeah. And you know what? That kind of research tells in the fact that you're an ignorant cunt.
You can tell from the way he's looking at that big block of text that he doesn't want to read it.
Yeah, it's like, this is, wow, this would take me hours. I can't read all this.
Look at all these words. Ugh.
Wow, that one's got like 20 letters in it. That's a big word. Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, I would get V to read it, but he can barely read in Romanian, so I mean, grim.
To be fair, the guy does speak more than one language, which is...
Yeah, does he?
Impressive.
I don't think screeching counts.
All right, hitting play.
Or in other sort of New York publications where they try to avoid talking about the ethnicity of the people doing the attacks, or try to blanket say, oh no, this is men and women, black, white, grey, you know.
I mean, Carl, firstly, it is all of those things. And secondly, how did you get those pictures of the guy being arrested if the newspapers aren't talking about it? You've got a newspaper article there that's a generic one about anti-Semitic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably not going to focus on just black people in that, because it's a more general newspaper article. But there are loads of articles about, oh, a black guy did this thing. Like, it's everywhere. You literally showed the fucking pictures, you dopey cunt. What the fuck are you talking
And
about?
also, 2/3 of the time, it's a white person.
Yeah, Carl's created this strange little world for himself where we know the fact that most of the people who commit anti-Semitic crimes in New York are black. But at the same time, the media are trying to cover up anti-Semitism, according to Carl, because they're so PC and leftist that they only reported the black people who committed the anti-Semitism. Do you see how this
Also,
complete
can I
mess
just
of
take on-
contradictions
Yes.
works?
Can I just take on Karol Markovich's point here? And no one seems to care. The fuck? It's been a huge part of the last week and a half in terms of the news cycle. Is there's loads of anti-Semitic attacks in America. Now, I'm not saying that is like, they're on top of the situation then, but the idea that no one cares is ridiculous.
Also, I don't know the date on that article.
Pardon?
I don't know the date on that article.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It could have been written like midway between the attacks. You know,
It's from 2015.
May 2019.
I made that up, although I don't know. That's
Really?
true. But
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me because Carl's thorough in his investigations.
it's from May 2019, and this video
Okay.
came out
Hang
when?
on, it's from May 2019.
That's what Cog just said, and I'm
Yep.
trying to blow it up right now. And he's citing an article from right there, May, and I can't see the 18.
Wow. Well, this is really relevant to
2019.
everything then, Carl. Hold on.
He's doing this he's complaining about this article now in December.
So hang on, yeah. So they're covering up the blackness of the thing, even though you're focusing on a crime
That
that
didn't
happened
happen yet.
6 months later
Yeah.
involving the black dude.
It's just
Well,
such
I
basic...
apologise. Can I just apologise to Karol Markovich? Because even though she's made a really stupid point in that article, albeit that it might have been more relevant then, I suppose.
Yeah, back in May.
But I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt that Carl didn't. I don't think she can see into the future.
There you go.
I don't think she can predict that a black guy is going to go and stab 5 rabbits 6 months later.
Yeah. It is a messed up timeline. And also, can I point out how unlucky Carl was that he published this video on the 29th of December, and then on the 1st of January, that video for the video saying about the how 66% of the
The article.
the article, I've forgotten where was it from. It was from the Jerusalem Post. The Jerusalem Post happened to publish that like just 2 days later, and then we happened to find it before doing a stream about it. Like, that is a really unfortunate line of
He could have waited and actually done some research and banged
Looked
it
at the
out.
2018 numbers, which
Yeah.
were cited and publicly available.
Yeah.
He could have looked
And then
those up.
gone, wow, maybe it would be really intellectually dishonest of me to go out there and make it look like black people are the main problem here, when clearly that's not the fucking case.
But I'm a racist, so what am I gonna do?
You can clip that. That's Kristi admitting it.
Yeah, okay, that's me pretending I'm Carl. But yeah, Dickie Brain vindicated.
Dickie Brain was onto you before anyone. The man was a seer.
All right, sorry, I'm doing a thing with
I mean, he could see the
interface
fact
thing.
that breaking into his own offices wouldn't work out well for him, but you can't have 100% hit rate.
Right. Okay, hold on. We've got a technical delay here. In that Cog needs to plug his phone into a charger, and so he's
Sorry, it's
abandoned.
dying.
He's abandoned
Priorities,
his
guys.
video duties.
Join the J Post Premium Plus for just $5.
I'm trying to use you guys to debunk a racist. Jerusalem Post, give us a hand here. Do something for us. Help us out here a bit. I think
What are you
maybe.
trying to do?
Oh, I'm trying
Oh,
to.
they have. They've shown us the statistics.
Yeah.
They've done their bit.
All
To be fair, they've done proper journalism and research.
I just
So-
want to leave this up to debunk Carl as we speak, but they're not making it easy because they're just using us now to promote their products, and I'm done with that. So anyway,
But to be fair, I think we've used their journalism. So
that's
I
true.
don't mind giving them a little plug there.
All right. Well, they got their
I
plug.
can't imagine we've got many viewers in Jerusalem.
I doubt
You know,
it.
a few. There are probably a few, but not like a huge number.
No, like 2. All right.
Although I
So-
suppose on the internet you can read it from anywhere. That's the beauty, isn't it? I can subscribe to the Chicago Times or whatever. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be relevant to me, but I could do it.
You could
Yeah.
follow baseball more closely.
Yeah.
I
Anybody.
don't care for the White Sox or the Cubs, so
Okay,
No.
fair enough.
but
is
yeah, I
part
mean
of the
the point
beauty.
would stand.
It is part of the beauty of the internet that you can go anyway. You know, you can go to New York. You can go to Israel and Tel Aviv, and you can read articles from wherever you like, or you can sit in a basement in Swindon and not read the articles if you like.
Or you can pretend to go to Tel Aviv while you're sat in your garden in Washington.
Yes, yeah, that's another possibility.
That's literally one of the cities he pretended to go to, Jacob Baldwin.
Amazing.
Right.
And Minsk. Lovely.
All right, back to Carl's racism.
Black identitarians or Hispanic identitarians, and they think, well, okay, these are Jewish identitarians, they're on our turf, they're for some reason, whatever, for whatever reason they're a valid target. Is it based on these identities?
So now jumped from all of these black people doing this. That some of them undoubtedly won't have been necessarily race-related, they would have been robberies.
Mm-hmm.
But because obviously they were on Jewish people, and there's a heightened sense of anti-Semitism and attacks and stuff. But Carl's gone, even if we ignore that, even if we say all of the black people who attacked Jewish people in some way have all been racially motivated, Carl's now jumped to the conclusion that they're obviously all black nationalists.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the inevitable conclusion that he has to reach, because you remember I mentioned those 3 points before. It's either a conspiracy across all of them, which is kind of what this falls under, a social thing where black people are more likely to attack Jews because of social reasons or whatever, or it's genetic. So he has to stay away from the social and genetic implication, because that would require him backing up his utter nonsense, and therefore he has to go, it's a little conspiracy, you know?
Is there a Nazi gene?
We'll get Carl tested.
I mean, my research would be a lot easier if there was, so...
I think we should get Carl tested, but that's for...
But for other things? For the massage parlor?
Well, I think we should scan for intelligence. Probably a quick one, that, I reckon. But after that, I don't know. The joke basically is done.
All right, hitting play.
Anyone else knows, and if they do know, they're certainly not writing it in their articles and talking about it on Twitter, because everyone seems to want to cover up the fact that black people and Hispanic people, but mostly these attackers are black.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. And you're going on about an attack that happened 6 months after this article was written, you twat. How is she supposed to write, oh, well, after the attack in 6 months' time in Muncie, we should talk about black people? Like, what are you talking about, you utter cretin?
I feel like you, at this point with Akkad Daily, he's so obviously putting out he's just shitting out content. He's not making no effort. We should take the trope of everything wrong with and just do everything wrong with Sargon on impeachment. And then just give him a bing for every point, just clip it together, because it's literally that wrong. Like, that could be a new thing that people do.
It's all quantity, not
absolutely.
quality.
Yeah, he's definitely about churning out the content at these days.
Exactly. He's phoning it in.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Right. Back to Carl.
I mean, I really think we need to sit down and ask them why. I know that places like the Daily Stormer are screaming these are the Hebrew Israelites, rising up against the fake Jews in America and to drive them out, but I don't really take that very seriously.
That's why he goes and reads the Daily Stormer on the regular.
Yeah, he knows. He doesn't know anything about this topic, but he knows what the Daily Stormer think.
He knows a lot about what the Daily Stormer thinks.
He's researched those thoroughly.
He doesn't take it seriously.
Just for research purposes.
Yeah. Centrist.
Just for research purposes, honest, ignore the tissues. Hay fever. Definitely.
On to interview them. Can we get a statement from any of these people? Let's hear why they did this. Why did this guy go into a bloody a synagogue or a rabbi's home to stab them up during a Jewish festival? Why did they do it? I want to know what the reason was. I mean,
okay, but to be fair, Carl, they're questioning the guy. It's an ongoing case. What do you expect? You expected him to do a fucking press conference?
Isn't this guy you said was a Hitler stan?
Yeah, look, it's an ongoing. He's just been arrested. Like, upon making this video, he'd literally just been arrested. So what the fuck is Carl asking for here? Him to do like a Q&A session on the fucking TV?
More like a Minority Report kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna crawl inside his head like fucking being John Malkovich.
Sort of Minority Report, but you just pick on the minorities.
Minorities, you only report on the minorities.
Yeah.
The minorities report.
Yeah.
in that
Right.
case. Yeah.
He apparently broke in there and was like, I've got you now. It's like, what the hell do you mean you've got them now? Like, what is the ideology behind this? Because in fact,
which you can't judge him for, because that would be inconsistent with, when you said that to Andrew Anglin, the white Nazi.
Yeah. Or
He's
when
not doing that. But bizarrely, he doesn't even have the excuse of being mentally ill.
well,
He's literally just an evil bastard.
Carl wants to know if he's got a manifesto where he makes some good points, because that's what happens with the white
He's got
supremacists.
quotes from Mein Kampf, so yeah. I presume Carl will probably agree with some of those.
Yeah, you'll have. Oh, I'd love to ask him. All right, here we go.
post
He won't
article.
talk to you, Kristi, because he's got no sack on him.
He's
So-
definitely afraid of me. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should invite him back on the happy hour.
I've said
I
before,
avoided.
Carl,
Yeah.
our door is always open for you. Come on in, we'll have a cup of tea, and Kristi will fucking peg you
And
again.
I'll have a shit on his lap.
Yeah. Kristi will do a jobby on your chest.
No, I think he'd like that, so no.
No, I think he wants me to do it.
Okay,
I think
you can do
I think he'd be intimidated by you.
it. Like Shoe on Head, I invite her on the show. Karen Strawn, I invite her on the show. We're nice. Cog's on. He's doing fine. I don't know why these white wingers just won't come on.
I'm not. I'm tied to a chair here. Like, you guys can't see because the camera's not on. But yeah, it's awful.
It's
Right,
basically he's
let's
got one finger that's free to hit play and pause.
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's the only. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Say, well, there doesn't appear to be any ideology behind it, and then links to this Louis Farrakhan post. It's like, sorry, that does seem to be part of an ideology. There does seem to be some sort of
Reaching.
philosophical.
He's really reaching at this point.
Yeah, that's what.
Conspiracy theory.
This dude was not a Muslim, or he wasn't any kind of Muslim, but he especially wasn't obviously a Louis Farrakhan Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Hitlerite,
Yeah.
albeit one born out of possibly some sort of weird schizophrenia, would
Like-
possibly seem.
People who are anti-Semitic probably agree with a lot of other people who are anti-Semites on anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy because they have both. Because Louis Farrakhan has black skin and this guy has black skin. That doesn't make it a conspiracy.
Well, to quote Carl's favourite news source, the Daily Stormer aren't massive fans of Jews, and neither's Louis Farrakhan, but they're clearly not the same.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. But they would be in his mind if they had. Yeah. Right.
Philosophical root behind it, so we need to understand it. We need to know what the reason they're thinking that this is the case for, so it can be challenged.
Clearly, the philosophical route, they hadn't read Locke. That's the problem. If they just read some Locke, they'd have the road to Damascus moment and come round to classical liberalism.
Yes. English classical liberalism in particular.
Exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you wouldn't want to have these French classical liberals.
No.
They're too French.
No. They don't have.
Another aspect of Carl's sort of ideology that I think we should bear in mind is the thing that I last did a video on quite a while ago now was Carl saying that it was in response to Three Arrows that English-speaking peoples aren't extremists and just can't be extremists because they're English-speaking. I just want to point out that everybody in this video has been English-speaking. Like, everybody.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, of course. He thinks English equals white people. English speaking are white people speaking English.
Yeah, well, brown people don't speak English.
Yeah.
Not in Carl's
They're
world.
not allowed to.
So just in the other list of contradictory things that Carl
Comes out of his
comes
mouth.
up with, yeah,
Whereas white people like Donald Trump speak the language good and proper and that.
Bigly.
yes,
Big. Yeah, no one speaks it better.
Okay, Carl now.
Pretend that these things are just unconnected. It's a mystery. People just hate Jews because it's just not true. Although I have to say, it does.
Whoa. Is he? I can't remember the end of this video. Is he drifting towards maybe the Jews are bringing it on themselves? Because that seems to be where he's going with that.
yeah, that is a worrying conclusion. But I think he's going more for the look. These 5 black people are anti-Semitic. Therefore, all black people are anti-Semitic.
And why aren't people talking about why aren't people talking about
Why aren't people mentioning the colour of the skin of people that are going to commit crimes in 6 months?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
I know. Yeah, one of my friends was telling me we were out canvassing together for Labour. This was before the election, And,
communist. Yeah, okay.
I know, and he said that he had to speak to his grandma, who was reading the Daily Mail, and slowly talk her round and say, "Well, look at this article about this criminal. It says this guy was a black dude from this area. What relevance is the fact that he was black? Like, what does that have to do with the crime he committed?" And slowly.
When you said they had to talk to their grandmother and then slowly, I was hoping you were going to say put a pillow over their face.
No,
that wasn't where I was going with that. I was drawing the connection.
That would give up a vote.
You've let me down.
For a canvasser, that's giving up a vote. So no way.
He took the time to win her over. Who knows? Maybe there is something to that. But Carl is doing the same thing here that the Daily Mail is doing, just like a bit more explicitly going, "Hey, look, there's a connection here. These people are black as well," rather than focusing on the problem, which is that they're anti-Semites.
Yeah, because the people who actually write stuff in newspapers have actual codes of ethics they have to stick to. They don't often, but there is actually a body that's supposed to oversee those things.
Yeah.
And whereas on the internet, you can say whatever you like, because
Yep. And just to repeat for anyone who has just joined us, we have already proven beyond any reasonable doubt that most anti-Semitic crimes committed in New York City that people are arrested for are committed by overwhelmingly white people, 60% white. 60% white.
Or 57% in 2018.
Yeah, and about 30 to 40% black people. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, just bears repeating.
Yes, again, as we go through this.
Thrown in Hispanics, but we don't even know the number of Hispanics. Clearly can't be that many because there's only fucking 7% left.
Yeah. Also, when has Hispanics ever come up? He just threw that in, I think.
Yeah, just
because they're brown. They're not
brown
white,
people.
so
Yeah, that's actually worth highlighting. The fact that the article said one of the things that he was railing against was the fact that the article had said that these people were people of all colours, and he read black, Hispanic, and white out. But then he seems to have gone, "Oh look, here's a group of black people doing it, but let's talk about the Hispanics for a second," because he said, so he's kind of going, but so white people clearly aren't doing it, but he did leave Hispanics in, and he said that Hispanic people are still doing it, regardless of the fact that all of his evidence, and this is, I'm not backing him up here, I'm not saying he's right. But I'm saying if that's what he honestly believes, why are Hispanic people involved too? Because the only evidence he's given is that black people are doing it. If he's going to do this racial division thing, why do Hispanic people get lumped in with the baddies rather than the goodies?
Right.
Well, and not just that, but
that's rhetorical because he's a racist.
I don't know the same numbers off the top of my head, but Hispanic people make up more than 7% of the population in New York. So even if they have the entirety of the remaining percentage, that would still be vastly underrepresented in terms of anti-Semitic crimes.
Yeah, because whites are overrepresented.
Yeah. So actually, well done Hispanics on not being anti-Semitic very much.
Yeah, I guess we could go back to Jerusalem Post and dig deeper into the numbers, but we've already done more research than Carl has.
Yeah.
So we have 2 years worth of stats, and he has 0 years worth of stats.
Anti-Semitism around the world is growing. I mean, this is happening a lot in Germany these days as well. And, this is another New York one, sorry, where, again, in December, 2 more Jewish men were attacked.
I wonder whether maybe something like new signal boost in the alt-right maybe helps the growth of anti-Semitism. Maybe you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Maybe you should judge people for being Nazis, perhaps. Just a thought for
instead of hanging out with Holocaust deniers.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
There's a case today of anti-Semitic graffiti in London. Who's doing that? Is it, again, maybe, I mean, I personally would look towards the sort of Farrakhanites, those people who think he's the greatest of all time. Is he influencing them? Who knows?
So
what
now, wait,
evidence has he got for that?
Yeah,
he literally don't know anything about the perpetrators of those graffiti attacks.
Because
he's going, Louis Farrakhan, who no one knows here. Look, he's a niche figure in America, but no fucking knows who he is here. What are you talking about, Carl?
Really, he's going
That's
from
just gibberish.
not looking up data about New York City, making a racist assumption based on a cherry-picked or paying attention to certain news articles, and then made a leap to, oh, we have this problem over in Britain too. Are you out of your... Like, seriously, who pays this guy money to make them dumber? He just makes you dumber. That's all Carl does.
Yeah. Oh, right.
All right, so we've got, less than a minute left now.
Something that travels across borders, as ideologies tend to do.
But not percentages.
I don't know. I haven't got the answers here, but it is definitely something that needs to be investigated.
You don't have the data either.
Yeah, you realise if he'd done, like, the 10 seconds worth of Googling, like, he really could have... Or just typed in NYPD ethnicity data anti-Semitism. Like, he probably could have found it out. Like, that's probably something he could have done, rather than creating a video going, this is something that we should probably look at.
I don't know anything about it, but... What?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the real tragedy here is Carl, along with everyone else who's listening to this because they have the internet, therefore, has access to the greatest repository of knowledge in human history.
Yeah.
And he can't even be bothered. But I think there should be an investigation into this. There already was. It's an ongoing, constant process of accumulating data, and you don't care, Carl.
Yeah. And the data just shows the opposite of what he says. So,
yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe at one point he did look stuff up, but then found out that reality has like an anti-Carl bias. So he was like, "I'm not going to bother wasting my time because I keep debunking myself with knowledge. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's just be a reactionary piece of garbage instead."
Clearly, reality has an anti-white bias. That's the problem here.
Yeah, because white people don't run anything.
The only thing to do there then is read them out of existence. Clearly.
Yeah, that's it.
God. Right, let's go.
Yeah.
And it needs to be an actual interrogation of the beliefs of the attackers. Why did you choose these people?
Were you going to do that for your manifesto buddies, your white nationalist buddies over there? When they are going out and attacking people and beating people up?
That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. What about the guys who go into synagogues and shoot them up, Carl? Should we investigate them? Maybe investigate who they're subscribed to on YouTube?
What about the people who endanger people by giving their names to violent neo-Nazis?
Yeah, like maybe Andy and Go giving kill list to Atomwaffen, just a sort. Yeah.
Andy, no, not and go, just no.
Yeah, got trouble for that.
Andy no go, yeah.
No go. All right, hitting play.
These seem to be often just real attacks of opportunity, as there's a lone Jewish person walking along, and a bunch of people who are not Jewish and are often black. I mean,
what the hell? What was that word salad at the end?
It's doing like a lone Jew. Like usually the Jew hunts in packs. If you get a lone Jew, you have to pick them off. The weak ones at the back. Like what? Is he doing fucking David Attenborough on Jews now?
Can we go back? That was ridiculous. Sorry, we have to listen. There was so much stupidity in there, we couldn't all process it, so we have to go back.
An actual interrogation of the beliefs of the attackers. Why did you choose these people? These seem to be often just real attacks of opportunity, as there's a lone Jewish person walking along, and a bunch of people who are not Jewish and are often black. I mean, there was the example of a Muslim woman who stood up to a black man who was harassing a Jewish man and his son on the London Underground. Why? Why are there so many black people who have problems with Jews?
Racist. Wow.
Sorry,
so racist.
Can we just pull it back to this bit where he has to like he actually has to like crowbar in the word black people. Yeah. Like in that last little bit. Where is it?
Attacks of opportunity, as there's a lone Jewish person walking along, and a bunch of people who are not Jewish and are often black. I mean, there was the example of
and are often black. It's, like he has to work so hard to crowbar that information in.
But that's the thing. When a black is on the prowl for a solitary Jew, they can sense the one drop of blood in the water from 6 miles away. I
Yeah.
think that's how it works. I was really high when I watched that documentary.
Been reading his pamphlet, have you?
Yeah, that sounds like something Carl would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
right out of his.
Yeah.
But he's basically trying to pit two
No,
groups
I read
against
it on
each other.
Carl. I read it on Carl's site of record, the Daily Stormer,
Yeah.
where Carl gets all of his daily news.
A cad daily.
Oh, this was crap. Like, this was just so nothing. This was just him being a racist and cherry picking a few picks, and taking advantage of a news cycle, something that happened, to put together a racist message out. I mean, this is just pure racism. That's it.
Yeah.
Next time a white person does something, I'm going to just screenshot this and be like, why are the whites attacking Jews in X place? Who cares where it is?
Yeah, but don't do that on Twitter or on YouTube.
No, I'll do it on Twitter because I'm going to catch Carl in 2020. That's how many accounts I'm going to get taken down.
Let's see. I'm just looking at. Okay, just looking at the percentage. I'm just looking at more of the details underneath what it had to say. If there's any more stats. I think that it goes more into. Yeah, there are tensions between the black community and the Jewish community. There were historically tensions, but I have a feeling that things had gotten a lot better in New York City.
Well, in America, haven't there been tensions between every group and every other group?
Well, yeah, that's also kind of
true.
true.
It's a society built on racism. Like, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
You should have just gone with classism, like in Britain. It's much better.
Yeah, classism is when you need discrimination, but you don't have enough differences between people, so you got to create them.
Well, yeah, but you see, the thing is with classism, you can still do a bit of racism, but you can also have like rich, popular black people as well. So like it's a bit of both. You can have a bit of everything.
Well, and on that bombshell,
Logan endorses classism and racism. 2020 off a flying start.
Yeah, that's all. We're out of content now, officially. And
no,
I think
never. We fucking hell. The last show we did 2.5 hours on nothing.
That is true, but Cog's knees, I think, are crying at this point.
What the fuck is he doing? What?
Well, he said he mentioned that he was bound up in a chair with only one finger free, which I've now locked it up again. But he's also like bent back, so he's trying. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
My legs are underneath me as well. Yeah, on this chair that I'm tied to.
Well, hang on. Where else would legs be? That's where they're supposed to be, underneath you.
Well, not like just underneath in space, but as in
no, like
well, you sat on them.
Yeah, I'm sat on them exactly.
Kristi, do you not own chairs?
No, not where I record. No,
not in here.
Not in my recording studio.
Okay, well that's it. 2020, your New Year's resolution is to buy a fucking chair.
Yeah, it really wouldn't work with my setup, mate. I kind of have a chair that.
What are you talking about? Do you live in a fluid? What?
No, you just
I live
can't.
in a bubble of oxygen. A chair.
You can't get a chair in front of my mic here. It's just not feasible. I do have a chair, but it's a bed chair.
You don't live in a matchbox, Kristi. No, your excuses don't fly with me.
Cog, could I fit a chair here in front of where I record from?
Admittedly, you can't fit a chair in this room. It's too tight in here. Amazing, thank you, Kevin.
I do have a bed chair, but it doesn't have wheels on it, so your legs can't hang down.
Well, this is fucking riveting.
This is great. Happy hour closing chitter chatter.
Exactly. This is the banter that keeps the crowds coming in.
Yeah, and this is when we hit our peak viewership, just when we get the most shit.
Yeah,
this puts asses on seats. Okay.
So, people can find Cog. Where can they find you?
Drunken behind the fucking bins.
Yeah, hiding from fireworks in Cologne. Like that's where they can find me. They can find me on my channel. It's TCS, the Cognitive Society. I think most people know, like from your viewership, know who I am. So, okay. My channel is being put thrown in front of there. That's the video. It's Nazis, nationality, and national and philosophy. That's the one where I'm talking about Sargon of Akkad and his weird kind of English people can't be extremists because they speak English stuff.
Oh, I did. Is this where you did the cool start? No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But most people say, okay, we can watch the beginning of that if you like.
All right, he just does this really cool filming technique that I think is awesome. But now I gotta find the sound.
I know what you're excited about now.
No, that's at the end.
Validity of Nazi comparison. No. Someone's video was made after Dan, who goes by 3 Arrows on YouTube, called him out for his cruelty and callous disregard for the lives of the people in concentration camps on the US border. Please be advised that this video was created by a fucking feminist. Wait! You missed out. You missed out the bit that was worth watching. Like,
okay, sorry.
Screw my talking. It was the bit. It's this bit.
The people in concentration camps on the US border. Please be advised that this video was created by a fucking feminist system.
It is a fucking feminist system that's doing this.
I'm so proud of that introduction. Sorry. Yeah.
I like the pause filming technique. That was my favorite part. I'm really excited about your sound will be better.
Yeah, my sound is awful in that video, but yeah, got a new mic.
My sound is awful, and I've been doing this for ages.
Yeah, so go check out Cog and his videos. They're all really good.
Yeah, unsubscribe from Kristi and go and subscribe to him.
Yeah,
that's how it works. You're only allowed to subscribe to one.
That's how YouTube works, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin, have you got anything coming up on your channel anytime soon?
Well, if I'm ever allowed to upload again, yes.
Oh, is it is it uploading or streaming or both?
Both.
Oh,
I
shit,
don't know
mate.
why YouTube are just being shit. Look, I had the strikes removed, but for some reason it's still like, no, you can't upload. So I don't know. Presumably it's the full 2 weeks, which is Monday or some shit.
Okay.
So,
all right. So is that our long-awaited International Men's Conference video?
Oh no, that's nowhere near because they still haven't released the video. So I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen.
Okay.
I might just not.
Find a different twat.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got loads of twats. There's a long line of twats. Yeah, so I might do some. I might do a Prager FU, and I want to start the sports and politics thing because the Basil Oliveira story is actually really interesting. But,
okay, and are you going to meet up with culture shots anytime soon to do any more?
I don't know. I tried to arrange that, and he was like moving house or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's been really busy of late.
He appears to have gone cold on me. Not in a bad way. Like we're still personable with one another, but he doesn't.
Not in a
Hasn't
necrophilia kind of way.
contacted me or anything. So like, okay, maybe that's done. It's a shame, but whatever.
Yeah, well, or maybe he's just busy. Okay.
Or maybe he's just Dutch.
That could be it. What's today? Is today Thursday? Okay, so yeah, I still have my Sunday show on. I mean, I know
No, Kristi, no one asked.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay, Kristi, what you got going up on your channel, man?
Yeah, so my Sunday show, which I never know what's going to be on because I usually do all my show prep at the last minute. So it's a Kristi surprise. But happily, I also have a cool chat, and we go back and forth. And there's always news. And it's the thing about doing a news show.
And occasionally, an idiot will turn up
in the chat and start spelling out the word penis and starting penis cheers. Give me a P.
Yeah.
Give me a
Give her a P.
Please, somebody give me a P. All right. Yeah, I think that's the end of the show.
Nah, I reckon we can string this out another fucking 20 minutes.
Is there anyone left watching? Like
68 sad bastards.
There are always people, no matter how fucking
terrible,
how shit, how fucking
nothing we talk about, how bad the tactical stuff. They stick it out, man. They are hardcore. The happy endings. They want to get there, man. They want their happy endings.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, just don't get it in my hair, okay?
Don't get it in Kevin's hair chat. Just be polite with where you point.
Exactly. I've got my goggles on. Let's do this.
All right, I think we're at the end of the show now. Yeah, so I guess the next time we see each other will be another happy hour. I don't know if Cog will still be here or not. Who knows? There might be massive news in the next 24 hours and we'll come back
He's
on.
he's got like fucking squatters' rights now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's like a fucking squirrel in the attic. You're not going to get rid of him.
Kenny, no. First it was Keck. Now it's going to be the happy hour.
Thanks for going for squirrel instead of rat, by the way. That's nice of you.
Yeah, well, you know.
Squirrel is
Okay.
a much nicer animal to be
Yes.
compared to. Anyway.
Did you want to talk about your debate idea, by the way, here?
Not really. It's
Okay.
fine. No, yeah, for those who don't know, because Kristi said it now. Basically, I'm going to be putting together. When it's ready, I'm going to be putting together debates between left-wing YouTubers. It might be a good way to get yourself introduced to other left-wing YouTubers. But yeah,
Do you really want to be introduced to left-wing YouTubers?
yes, some of us are fantastic. Other of us.
Yeah, but some of us are right cunts. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
You
Me.
stay away from this.
So basically what it's going to be is a debate forum, but basically it's not going to be debating things that you're actually like interested in debating yourself. It's going to be...
Well, you're selling it brilliantly. It's not going to be stuff you're interested in.
No, I'm not talking about the audience. I'm talking about to the left-wing YouTubers I'm speaking to now. Is like, it's not going to be I don't know, Kevin has an opinion on I don't know, the death penalty that disagrees with Yavi, who has a different opinion on the death penalty. Let's get them together for a debate so they can hash it out. The point is that you defend a position that you might not necessarily agree with, but the point that I'm trying to make with the whole show is that debating is a skill that you learn. It's not something. It's not a solution. It's not a way to deal with disagreements.
So is it debating society?
Yeah, more or less a debating society.
On his channel, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did that briefly in my student day, my young, thin, beautiful days.
Oh.
My
So
drunken
last week-
days. And I remember I had to defend. The proposition was something ridiculous along the lines of it was like Margaret Thatcher saved Britain or something, and we had to defend that, and I felt dirty.
Yeah.
But it's really good for harnessing or even sharpening your debating skills. It's very good because you can basically, if you're prepared to just sort of bullshit, you can defend almost any position, really.
Yeah, and you can make it sound reasonable, which is the amazing thing. Is you can
Yeah.
You know, if you really like think about it and you take it from a serious place and a serious perspective, you can make almost anything sound reasonable in a debating situation. But
Which
it's also
is why the religious versus atheist debate thing always struck me as slightly ridiculous, because it's not about finding truth. Not really. It's about discussing stuff and who's the better debater rather than who's actually got the facts on their side.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it's about how you judge debates, because most people just don't know how to judge debates. I say this as somebody who ran a university debating society for a year, and has been doing university debating for 4 or so years now.
Oh my God, how long have you been fucking studying, man? You're only like 10. What the fuck?
4 or so years. yeah. But like, I've been actually I've been debating since before I got to university, but I've been debating for a long time, which is the point.
I came out of the womb debating.
Yes, I did. I was born ready for a debate. But the point generally is that I'll be running through both techniques for you to use in debate and what to listen out for, tricks that you can learn that help you with argumentation, but also how to actually judge a debate and how to actually come to a reasonable conclusion in a debate. And I think that's something that's worth listening to, and also getting to terms with the fact that the conclusion that the debate comes to might not be reasonable. The person who won the debate might not have deserved to win that debate. They might be arguing for something ridiculous, but you can still win a debate on a ridiculous premise if you know how to debate.
Yeah, and we've got late-breaking Paul Chuckle news. He's just launched a coup d'etat in the South American nation of Uruguay.
Wow,
So,
fascinating
you
feed.
He's got the moustache for it, so...
He has. I've always felt he had the South American dictator's tash.
Yes, he does.
And, more importantly, shoes that come with laces.
Yeah.
which is important in South
I'm gonna
America.
have to show Cog that video after we end the stream. Which, by the way, we've been going for 2 hours now.
Let's get going.
Our knees are crying. So
Our knees are crying. It's like, I don't know, it's like if Salvador Dali did poetry.
all right, well, thanks to everybody in the chat for showing up and enduring this nonsense, whatever it is. My thanks to Cog, friend of the show, and supporter, and also I think fan of Kevin and me, and we are a mutual appreciation society because we like his stuff too. So it's always great when we can bring him along.
You speak for yourself.
And of course my co-host, which I've prepared nothing clever or witty for, so like every week. But thanks, Kev, for being yourself.
For being not dead.
Yeah, thanks for that too. Right, so everyone, I'm
You
Kristi.
didn't sound very convincing when you said that.
I'm trying to wrap up the show, and so I'm not really listening. I just keep saying yeah.
So the fact that I'm not allowing you to wrap up the show means you want me dead. That's an overreaction.
well, only slightly dead, and then you can come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it
I've been
a
dead for
comeback.
years.
And on that bombshell, I've been Kristi. You guys have been awesome. Goodbye from me, and goodbye from Cog and Kevin. So say goodbye, Cog.
Goodbye, Cog.
And say goodbye, Kev.
Goodbye, Kev.
Yay, they both did the bit.
We did.
You did?
You got
Bye.
both about it. Absolutely.
I got 2 bits. Woo!